Reed, what up, bro? You going to work your team? I'll let you. Shout out to the Lost Boys. Y'all stay intact, all right? Peace, right here in the building.
REED-BBS, BBS. Even when you win, even when you're victorious, sometimes you lose. NAOYA INOUE, my dude, my bruh, my Tomodachi, NAOYA INOUE, he improves to 31-0, 27 KOs with a wide unanimous decision over MJ Akhmadaliev. MJ is a former unified champion at 122 pounds and arguably the best super bantamweight of the last decade, not named NAOYA INOUE. Inoue left no doubt with a decisive win that I will elaborate more on in a second. The L, so to speak, it was taken in the 3-horse race that is the pound-for-pound race in boxing. Who's boxing's best pound for pound? Who is boxing's best pound for pound? The 3-horse race being ran by Inoue, by Alexander Usyk, and by Terrence Bud Crawford. Since May of 2024, Usyk has been in pole position. He's been in the driver's seat. He's been the man pound for pound #1 with not much of an argument ever since he stepped in with Tyson Fury, who he was the underdog against. 6 inches shorter than, 5-inch reach deficit, and 50-60 pound weight deficit. Usyk overcame all of that in a true David versus Goliath performance, and he beat Fury for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. So yeah, Usyk was #1 with a bullet. Bud Crawford was a firm #3 just based on his sheer inactivity. Bud didn't fight enough to warrant the #1 or 2 spots. He was sitting over there. He was sitting over there in the #3 spot. But after witnessing Terrence Bud Crawford's performance against Saul Canelo Alvarez, mere hours before Inoue versus MJ, not only has Bud Crawford surpassed Inoue for the #2 spot, Bud Crawford is no question the best fighter in the world pound for pound #1. So Inoue goes down a peg. He takes an L. Inoue is now #3. Usyk went from 1 to 2. And Bud Crawford, until further notice, for at least the next 364 days from the Canelo victory, there's no question, there's no argument who the best in the world is pound for pound. It pains me to say this about my favorite current fighter, NAOYA INOUE, but he took an L in the pound for pound sense. Through no fault of his own, there's nothing he could have done differently to change this. This is all about how great Bud Crawford was. But enough about that, I digress. With that said, pound for pound lists are subject to change. Pound for pound lists are fluid. The shit will change. It ain't subject to, it will change. And with that said, let's not forget, NAOYA INOUE is just 32 years of age. Terrence Bud Crawford is about to be 38 years of age. And Alexander Usyk already is 38 years of age. So in the pound for pound race, time is on Inoue's side. We don't have to panic just yet, Inoue fans. The coast will be clear in due time. In due time. Inoue has some very important business to tend to in 2026, where he's tentatively scheduled to meet fellow pound for pounder, Japanese legend Junto Nakatani. That's a path back up the pound for pound charts, is beating a fellow pound for pounder. And if Inoue is dominant against that fellow said pound for pounder in Junto Nakatani, he's got to go up beyond 3. He has to. Also, Inoue can still move on up. He can still pull a George and Wheezy. He can move on up to 126, where if he becomes a 3-division undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, we got to reconsider pound for pound on that basis also. That's standing alone to itself from a win over a fellow pound for pounder like Nakatani. as a teaser to the 2026 meeting of Japanese studs NAOYA INOUE and Junto Nakatani. They'll both be featured on the upcoming Ring 4 Night of the Samurai card in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where Inoue will be facing David Allen Picasso, and Junto Nakatani will be moving up to 122 for the first time. We'll get into that whole card in a whole separate video, though, down the road. As for the Inoue versus MJ fight itself, I did a live stream. Thank you to those of you who attended. I'll always do an Inoue live stream, no matter what, till the day he retires. So that's a promise. But the fight itself, they were respectful of each other. Inoue carried the action, though, particularly early, behind a power jab and stabs to the body, which kept MJ very leery throughout. He fought off of his back foot way too much, almost as if he were the defending super bantamweight champion of the world, and he had nothing to lose when he had everything to lose. He didn't fight like a man who stood to gain something. I don't want to say he cashed out, was just there for the check, but I remember using the words lack of urgency during the live stream quite a bit. So in that respect, it was a bit disappointing performance for MJ, considering all the shit him and Eddie Hearn had talked in the years leading up to this, and in court petitioning for his spot, his shot at the belt, demanding that Inoue vacate if he wasn't gonna fight. All that shit talk, the whole comparisons to David Benavidez and Canelo ducking him. I expected more of a fight from MJ once he finally got his man in the ring, and we just didn't see that. The handful of times MJ would get shots off, Inoue does what he does. He would immediately and arrogantly respond, usually with the same punch that MJ dared to land on him. And this built up round after round after round. Scores were unanimous, of course. 118, 110, two times, and 117, 111, all for Inoue. No knockdown, no stoppage. There was a bit of blood from MJ's nose late in the fight. But all in all, this wasn't one for the Inoue archives, basically due to the fact that MJ, he knew enough and then felt enough to not open up enough to get done like he could have been done by Inoue. But I expect Inoue to get back to his KO ways, right back to them KO ways against David Allen Picasso. December 27th, David Allen Picasso, Night of the Samurai is next. That's a fight I'm not crazy about for reasons I will break down in my next Inoue-related video. REED-BBS, BBS, Blackbird Sugar, Bachelor's in Boxing Studies. Television! Fred Sanford of the Fistic Arts. When all is said and done, there's nothing left to say or do.